In a world with many similarities to our own, there lies two planets that are both experiencing societal turmoil. One of them, the planet Remus, there lies a town named Hazel that is on the outskirts of one of the busiest cities on the planet. While society is strained with cultural change, in this town, there are beings that no one has seen and struggle not to be found as time goes on. The following is the story of some of the people who end up finding them through no fault of their own. This is Hazeltown Story. Hello, and welcome to another session of Hazeltown Story. I don't have a good intro because it's been a little bit since we did this, and also this is the first session after I've had a very long vacation, so I'm getting just brain cells just immediately left my head of like, how would I do this? So this is going to be a fun session. Anyway, before we get into it too much, why don't we all introduce ourselves?
Hi, I'm Carnival.
I am, of course, Deathmaster 780.
It's me, TorpidTypist.
And I am your GM, LoloDePuzlo. Yeah, so we had a little bit of a break, just because stuff. So we are now back at it. Who wants to recap what happened last session?
Me.
All right.
Alright, so we went investigating around the college some more to try and find Drew Lowe Jr. and Dewey, the fairy colony that he had with him. And we sort of found Dewey in the form of a teddy bear in one of the empty dorms. Elvis nearly took its head off and it zapped her in response. But we managed to talk it down and convince it to work with us, and it gave us a whole list of names to look into, figure out which one's name it was. And also, we got a couple names from Greg G. Gregerson, Bobby's mentor, who said they were associated with the names that were being displayed on the wall in the blanking on the name. The Witch's Brew.
Yep.
Molly Sparrow, Adrian Thistle, and the other list of names was Caulfield, Proof, Little, Charlotte, and Pino. That is all.
Yep, that's pretty much what happens. So I believe there was also the case where when the teddy bear basically said if you let it go that it would give you something.
Yeah, that was the list is what it gave us, was to figure out which one's name it was.
Okay. All right. So with that, that was kind of, if I remember correctly, was that at night?
No, this was like during the day, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
We did decide at the end of last campaign to go talk to Sophie, see what she knew.
Okay. Okay. So that is what your next plan of action is to do, or did anyone else have any idea before of what you wanted to do?
Not really. You, Torpid?
No, it's been so long. If I did have an idea, it's gone from my brain.
I do.
All right.
It's mostly just separate because I will just do this in character. So as on the way out of the college, Bobby will turn to Elmis and Arabi and say, "Tell you what, can you two go talk to Sophie, see what she knows about the names, and if she knows nothing, can you put some research into it?"
Her?
Cool. Yeah, sure.
Well, I need to go to a record store. I think it's time we updated Ash on what's going on.
Okay. If that's the case, then I am going to then think that we should probably do the Ash update first,
Yeah,
because that'll take a little bit. That'll be a bit quicker.
I probably just needs a yes or no question answered from them. So yeah.
Okay. In that case, you meet up at you meet them at the store. And they are there to or they come in, and basically just kind of once they see it, just like kind of just gives you a look that is like, yeah, what's up?
Howdy, friend. I have a update for you on our current situation.
Oh,
Yes, I've gotten the answers to two separate questions, and they have the same answer.
okay.
We know what why Orion's involved in this case, and we know who's been displaying those messages on your friend's wall.
Okay.
And the answer is a man by the name of Drulo Jr. and a fairy colony by the name of Dewey.
All right. That do you know why he's involved?
Unclear. Unclear at the moment, although we made partial contact with Dewey. And they seem very gung-ho about fighting Orion,
Hmm.
which is why I came to you with this update. If came to it, could you provide asylum to Dewey and Drulo, your group?
Do you know what do you know about this Drew?
Not a lot. We're still trying to find him.
Do you know if he's
Wait.
going to be someone that's going to be cooperative?
We'll find out. He can, if nothing else, I can convince him to be cooperative. And as for Dewey, well, if they're anything like the holes, anything like the single entity we met, they're just raring for a fight. So
Hmm.
I don't know if you have any fairies in the ranks of your organization, but I guess this will be a first.
We don't. So I guess it will.
Yes, but mostly I'm just looking for a yes or no if you could provide asylum. We are trying to convince them to work with us.
If that's the case, then I suppose I can. If they're cooperative and if they're someone that can help us out with this, then we can provide services.
Glad to hear it. Actually, one more thing before I go. We may have a couple of names associated with the information that was being displayed on the wall. Possible Orion operatives.
Okay.
One Molly Sparrow and one Adrian Thistle. Can you ask around your network, see if they've heard anything about either of these two?
I can check. The names don't ring a bell to me.
Well, anything you can find would be helpful.
Well, I don't know what I can promise, but I'll try.
Well, thank you. You have a good day now. Bobby leaves.
And they just kind of nod their heads. So, okay. So, with that, so Ravia and Elmis, you said that you were keeping Sophie with you, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you head back to, I take it, Ravia's place.
It's
I
Elvis.
don't have a place. I stay with
Oh,
Elmis.
right. Oh, right. I forgot. I was thinking of the last continuity in which you had your weird hotel room.
I had the motel room until we got an office, remember?
Yes. All right. You go to Elmis's place, and you come across Sophie. As you approach the kind of, how are you keeping Sophie?
I mean, I figured we were keeping her in the container she was already in.
Okay. So you just go and open up the container. It notices you, Aravia, and it notices that you're kind of trying to like get closer to it. So you hear, yes. Did you find anything?
We found another sylph colony.
Oh, did you find Dewey?
Yeah, we found a teddy bear. Yeah,
You found a teddy bear.
yeah. I think Elmis had a more fun time with it.
They tried to shock me after I discovered them tried to open the teddy bear thing, which by fault I didn't realize. But yeah, they said they knew of you. They knew you.
if it is Dewey, then yes, that would be the case. Me and Dewey were, very much in communication. We knew each other through, or we are both very much close to Drew, and I suppose if Drew is keeping one part of Dewey in a teddy bear, then I guess it's not exactly, sturdy, so I guess it will attempt to attack.
It was kind of funny seeing Elmas get menaced by a teddy bear, I'm going to be honest.
Objectively speaking, you're correct, but it wasn't funny in the moment.
It was pretty funny.
So, did you collect them?
Who about that? They said they specifically had something they were looking for.
Did they say what they were looking for?
People. They wanted us to basically kind of back off and let them do a thing a couple days, and then they would help us out.
Okay. Did they give names of the people?
Yeah, here's a list, if this means anything to you. And now this is going to hand over a list of the names.
I take that as you kind of are, like, Aravi just reads the names off. And Sophie basically goes, well, you effectively found one of them. Those 5 are Dewey.
Oh. That's, for some reason I shouldn't be surprised, but I am.
You see, Dewey being, well, the collective group, so to speak, of a bunch of individuals, what you probably were talking to was one of those 5. I don't know if only one could have been in control of that teddy bear, but I don't know. No, the question is, trying to think of what potentially, I wonder if there could be any clues on who you were talking to. Did you notice any sort of manner of speaking that the teddy bear talked in?
Out of character, I don't remember.
I would say out of character, like, it was meant to be more, a little bit stern, maybe a little bit overcautious.
Okay.
Maybe the manners was like a slightly older gentleman.
Then yeah, I'll relay that information.
Well, it talks to it, it's like, so, you see, Dewey wasn't the name that, who the group that we talked to about Dewey, came up with. That was a name that Drew gave. And as far as I know, the reason that he gave them names is that Drew was he really liked his books.
I can tell.
Gave the various names of Dewey, a bit of names that are kind of based off of characters. Kind of looks at the list and basically, it's like, I don't know how well literature-wise you are familiar with these, but these 5 names all come from various forms of literature.
I recognized a couple of them.
So, obviously, in my state, there's not exactly a whole lot of reading that I can do. But from what my general consensus on what I've heard Drew kind of mention on why he named it, I can kind of give you kind of a rundown on what these 5 are, the forms. Now, if it's the person that you're, like, the way you're describing, I would imagine that it is either going to be, you're probably likely talking to either Caulfield or Proof Rock. Caulfield, a bit brash, maybe a bit introspective. A lot very likes to observe things.
Likes a deerstalker cap.
I don't know what you mean by that.
Don't worry about it then.
Proofrock, another somewhat almost seemed to have a form of anxiety, but also seemed a bit world weary, but a bit like somehow had a lot of, again, similar to Coffee, a lot of observational, but a little bit more skittish. Now, Little is kind of very helpful, but almost a bit childlike. Charlotte, a bit very almost motherly in a way, very nurturing. And then Pino, very precocious.
Joy. So, Aravia, any insights from what we've just learned?
Fuck no. You dealt with the shitty teddy bear more than I did.
I'm for a research check.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Do a research check.
So what exactly are you going to try and research?
So, given that Elmis, I'm pretty sure has the mind palace ability.
Okay. That is, let me just, for sake of me,
Yeah, I'm trying to find it because I know I.
let's see. The Mind Palace. Passive when stuck in a time pressured.
No, then I got the wrong.
Yeah.
What's the one that's like I don't have?
It is. There is. Is it a? I want to say, is that one of the controlled ones? No, or not the controlled, the engineer ones. Minecraft when you're putting together an item. I know it's one of them.
Yeah, I know what. Trying to think. Just can't remember what it is.
It's all connected. Whenever you investigate during investigation, +1 to a long-term movie.
Is it? It fell into the dark web, maybe.
When you invest, that's only with supernatural objects, which technically this is.
Yeah.
Though I don't think that's going to help you.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. Could have sworn there's an ability that basically says I could like perfectly recreate the scene of an investigation.
Isn't that Flash of Insight?
Oh, huh.
Well,
Yep, that's
well.
just fail 5 more rolls and you're fine. You'll get it.
Okay, time to start rolling off.
Any case, we're gonna just go with the research roll. I guess this would be just. I don't know if it's research or investigate that fits more of just like going over. Elvis is just gonna go over like what she remembers of her conversation and just see which of the profiles does this best fit.
Okay. Now here's the question. Oh, by the way, can you select for your mental discipline which skill gets a boost? Because it's not all 3.
Right, I forgot about that because I hadn't used it before we made that patch.
Oh, did you patch that?
No, that's when we realized that maybe it's a little bit too much if all 3 action rolls get a buff. Instead, we only pick 1. It's just there wasn't one bolded. So, anyway, I guess technically I'm fine with either. It's going to be controlled because why would it not be? And your effect's going to be standard.
All right. So I'm going to do investigate since that bonus now puts me to 3 die.
4 dice.
4 dice?
Yeah, because your innate ability for
right.
Inspector.
Nice.
All right. 2, 1, 1, 4. So that is a mixed success. What you remember of the... I will do this. What you remember of that does seem to narrow it down that it is likely either Caulfield or Proofrock.
Okay. So, did the Dewey components, do they have any specific hobbies that differ in between the two of them that would, in between the five of them, for us to, like, maybe narrow down?
Well, I don't know if hobbies would be the right word for it, but um, they did seem to be a little bit more helpful in certain circumstances. For example, let me get the list. Caulfield was a bit more when you need something. Caulfield was helpful when you were trying to like pick apart an idea. He's a bit of a. He's really. He tends to focus on trying to poke parts of a thought. Proofrock seems to be a little bit kind of likes to make observations. Little was very good about kind of trying to find things around the house. Charlotte was very good at doing little tricks, I guess. And really didn't really do a whole like just kind of wanted to help when they could and just kind of observe.
Okay, that makes sense. Ravi, do you have any other questions you can think of?
Oh, this is all on you. I wasn't there for most of it.
Okay, I guess, Sophie, we'll come back if we get any more information and keep you in the loop. At this point, I can't really think of it. Out of character. Do you guys have any other questions you can think of?
Ask where the names came from.
She already said that they came from like reading from the library.
Came from yeah.
Yeah.
Which books?
Does Sophie know which books, or just?
She would likely know the name of the book, but probably not what happens in it.
That's fine.
We just need because we just need to find the books in the library.
Sure. Yeah. Can we get a list of those books too? I have an idea about most of them, but I just want to double check.
Sure. Let me see if I can remember. I believe Caulfield comes from, I believe it's a book called Catcher in the Rye.
Yep, that one I remember.
Proofrock. I believe it came from a book of poetry, I believe it was a collection of T.S. Eliot poetry. I don't remember what anthology. Let me actually double check to make sure that that's actually the author's name. Is T.S. Okay, yes, it is T.S. Eliot.
Okay.
Little, I believe it came from a children's book, Stuart Little.
Yep, that one makes sense.
Charlotte also came from another children's book, Charlotte's Web.
Yep, got that one.
And Pinot, I believe, came from Pinocchio.
Okay, I wouldn't have got that one. Thank you.
Wouldn't Pinocchio's name Pinot?
That is, well, it's short. Also, wait, isn't he called Pinot and Liza P?
No, it's.
Or wait, oh right, it's like a longer. It's like a long, like a. Anyway, it's. God, what it was like a fully Italian, like it was like a more of Italian, or no, it's just P, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just P.
Or Pinocchio.
Okay. Yes, P is Porgan.
What a dumb fucking
also
game.
the arcade name. They're also the arcade game Toy Pop. But anyway.
Yeah.
Damn, and here I thought they were just talking about wine.
Same.
Well, at any rate, Aravi, I guess we're going to a library.
Oh, God. Hate libraries.
It's fine. We know what books we're well, aside from the T.S. Eliot one. That one will take a bit of work. But otherwise, we know most of what we're trying to find.
Look, man, last time I went to a library, it burned to the ground, and I've never gone back since, okay?
Wait. I swear to God. Was it the library named Alexandra?
The who what?
Was that library in a town called Alexandra?
I don't know, there's a lot of places called Alexandria.
Elmas just sighs and starts heading outside.
All right.
Follows shortly after.
All right. So before we have fun library adventures, I think it's time for a downtime.
Time for Let's do some brain push-ups.
All right. Aravia. Or not Aravia. Carnival. I'll just do it like that. What do you want to do your downtimes?
I just want to double check. We don't have another craft project in the works, right?
As far as I know, that only one you finished the last one.
Okay, then yeah, we're gonna go with 2 training in inspector.
DM.
Training for Nightshade.
Okay. Torpo.
Training. I know, exciting, right? Very original.
I mean, it works.
Oh, yeah.
All right. In that case, I just felt like it's been a while since we had downtime, so let's do that. Okay. What library do you want to go to? Do you just want to go to the one that's like in the city? I take it.
School library.
Yeah, probably the
Okay.
school library first. That's
That's where he
closest.
said to go.
Okay. Oh, right. Yes.
And given that it's all fucking books for kids and shit too anyway, yeah, it makes sense.
Okay. So, you go to the school's library. It's like as like the major academic center of like a very large university. It is very well stocked. And
We don't need to go through the work of Elmis, like finding the children's books, I'm guessing, right?
I mean, I was figuring I was just going to do it in the description.
Okay.
Like like there's going to be a copy of Pinocchio. There's going to be a copy of Charlotte's Web. There's going to be a copy of Stuart Little. Catcher in the Rye obviously is another one that there is going to be copies of it.
And like
So-
Elvis just ask around, hey, which C.S. Eliot poem has this proof rock name in it? Or
The librarian just kind of goes, "Oh, that would probably be the love song of J. Alfred Prufrock."
all right, thank you. Can you just point me to an anthology do we have an anthology that has that poem in here on hand?
The librarian just kind of looks, or the person that does kind of looks and is like, these 2 probably would have it."
All right, thank you. I'll go pick those up. And so, books in hand, Elvis sits down, and wherever Ravi is sitting, and like, okay, time to read.
No, I'm good. You can do it.
Also, Bobby would have met up with you guys.
Yes. That's kind of, yeah. Yeah, kind of
Bobby, you can read too. I'm not reading.
Luckily for you, you don't need to read. You just need to find
Good.
which of these books contains the message inside it.
Doesn't that require reading?
No. And Bobby just starts flipping through.
Ah,
as you kind of lightly jostle the books, one does fall out. One of the T.S. Eliot books does fall out, have a envelope that falls out.
No reading required, friend. And he picks up the envelope.
thank goodness. Wait, no, it's an envelope. There's reading in there.
Well, then I'll take the bullet and read it for you.
Thank you.
He opens the envelope.
Inside the envelope, there are what looks to be scans of, or looks to be printouts of what looks to be messages between, looks like one of the people is not named, the other one has the name, the other one has the name, Adrian Thistle. And it looks to be correspondence between, it's part of a conversation that is just between, like, it's very short messages, like, a few sentences in between, that looks to be about securing a spot at an exhibition in a way that seems to be the way you can kind of infer it is that the person unnamed is coming to Adrian Thistle because they have access to ways that it looks like they are trying to skirt the system.
pay for play kind of thing, or more blackmailing?
More just kind of rearranging some spots that were meant to be random so that they're guaranteed to get a spot.
Does it say what the exhibition is? Or when?
It would be a, let's say that it would be an art exhibition at a public park in the Bay District. That would have happened about, let's say, 6 months ago.
Does that line up with when some of the messages that are appearing on the wall?
It would be around that same time, yes.
I guess we're going to a park then.
Right, give me a moment to put these back.
Yeah, go ahead.
As a short note, did you by chance want to check any of them out for future reading?
No, because not on none of one. She's the Charlotte's Webster and Little already have read those. Catcher in the Rye, high school, hated it. Elvis isn't much of a poem person. Isn't much of a poetry person.
This is not Bobby's kind of reading material.
She does end up picking up some trashy pulp novel.
Okay.
I don't know 70s writers well enough, and because there's no way, the only two that will come to mind are Larry Niven and Heinlein, and I hate those two. So she picks up was Moorcock writing at this point? What at the technical point that we would be in?
Probably, but also I think hold on, let me check. Okay, I am doing this for my own sake because I'm curious. Where is the? There it is. Oh, that book. Okay. He is much more recent than I thought. Never mind.
Okay, then she just picks up a Conan the Barbarian anthology then to go read.
There you go. That's perfect. As I say, I think it's a little bit too soon for Cormac McCarthy to be.
Oh, when did Blood Meridian come out? That's exactly the kind of thing book Elvis would read.
That was 1985.
Damn it. That's exactly the kind of book Elvis reads in her free time, is stuff like Blood Meridian.
Regardless. So you were all decided to head to the park?
Yeah.
Yes.
Although we'll go get Sophie before we get to the park because we said we were going to bring her.
Okay. So in that case, who wants to roll a percentage die?
I'll do it.
Actually, can two people roll a percentage die?
Cool, I'll do it.
Sure.
Okay.
I'll let VM roll first.
All right. 21.
Okay. 21?
35.
Okay. So, you all go to one of the parks, the Bay District, as part of a residential zoned area. There are, I would say, this is the problem where my sense of scale is going to bite me in the ass. Let's say once every. This is what I'm trying to see. If I remember correctly, because this area is pretty big, it's based out that there's about, say, 20 or so parks within the full Bay District. And these are fairly big parks that, we're talking, hold on. Let's see.
Let's not see.
Well, it's about maybe a 25 block large park.
Mm.
So it's a fairly big one. That has a number of kind of pavilions that you could see. If it was they're kind of covered canopy areas where there could be a display of any number of kinds of art. Be great for statues. There currently does not seem to be a display at the moment. And it is what you would imagine a inner city park to be.
Hmm.
There is like a man-made lake, but it is very green, and there is actually some decent like greenland.
Damn, fucked up.
And hostile architecture hasn't become super common yet, so people could sit in places.
Disgusting. Who would do that?
No, it is the thing. I don't know if I've ever put in here what the concept of what the city kind of is supposed to look like. But
Nope.
let me actually do that. I would describe the architecture of the city as anti-brutalist. Like we are talking something along the lines of almost like this. Which is like there's there's vegetation on the buildings.
Oh, so like an eco, like
Yes, it is a very eco city.
I know what this isn't like solar punk design, but like
Yeah, it is. If you've seen or like here to an extent, I don't think the building design, but like the because like the Tamgen Eco City.
okay, yeah, I know what you mean with the Tanjin city.
But yes, it is very green.
So for the listeners that you can't see this image, these are like buildings that are designed to be very modular, but at the same time filled with both greenery and like solar panels, hydroponic kind of spots all throughout it in everywhere you can look.
Yes.
So, yeah, on the map, how far off is this park from, say, Bobby's two businesses?
Let's see.
Always comes back to Bobby's businesses.
I was
Yes.
actually imagining it to be probably about not that far off. Though then again, if it's in the Bay District, there isn't like we're looking at like a grid kind of map of this area, and like this area's it's kind of weird because it's in like I don't even like it's almost like in a croissant shape.
You know, like bays tend to be.
Well, it's the district by the bay, yeah. But regardless, it's like it's not that far.
All right. Yeah, Bobby will just look around. Says, "I've come here a few times. Usually when I'm taking lunch."
I don't agree much with sunlight, so it's usually in the middle of the night when I'm out here.
Why?
I don't agree much with sunlight.
Why?
It burns bright.
Sun's great. What is wrong with you?
A lot of things, but that's a different story.
Ravia has the photosynthesis that Adel Christian does.
Maybe that's why she's lived so long.
Well,
but yes.
Bobby will just, I guess, head to the nearest pavilion.
Okay.
Once they're there, Bobby will just look around. Is there anyone around?
There's like a few people walking around. It's not super busy because it's not a hectic time of the day.
All right. Well, Bobby will just look around, then tilt his head back and yell, "All right, ball's in your court, Proof Rock."
Previous episodes of Hazeltown Story can be found at bekindrewind.hazel.town or radio.hazel.town. If you would like to know more about the universe and have an interest in video games, you can watch LoloDePuzlo's Journal, our sister show, that can be found at theater.hazel.town or bekindrewind.hazel.town. If you would like to keep up to date with Lolo, you can follow them at co-host or BlueSky at LoloDePuzlo. There is also a Discord server in which you can potentially catch episodes being recorded live at club.hazel.town. Thank you for listening to Hazeltown Story. I welcome you to come back for more.